So how come purple aliens always happen to be the final boss? Hey guys, it's your boy Rod from DBZSHFIGS.com, and today I'm bringing to you an unboxing and review of the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts Jiren Final Battle Exclusive Edition. So, if you don't know, this one was one of the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives for 2024, meaning it was released in July for $75, and then if you weren't able to go to the physical San Diego Comic-Con, they actually did put up a pre-order on Premium Bandai where you could give them your money and then the figure will be delivered to you in February of 2025, which is currently. So that's how I got my copy. You could actually go to Premium Bandai right now and they have them in stock. So if you missed out on the San Diego Comic-Con, if you missed out on the pre-order window through Premium Bandai, you could still get this one today. They'll probably ship it to you right away because they seem to have a lot of extra ones. But anyways, a little history of the figure. The first Jiren was actually released back in January of 2020 for $60. And that was the Jiren with the full Pride Trooper outfit. You know, basically like a first appearance Jiren. And then that one was only $60, which in my opinion is kind of a shocker since this one is $75 and that one didn't include less. If anything, it actually included more. So that's kind of funny. But yeah, the next Jiren would actually be released later that year and September 2020 for $75. And that's a Final Battle Jiren, which is like this one. However, this one has different painting on it to make it more glossy. The one in 2020 is basically just the Pride Trooper outfit just ripped up. So, you know, you could decide which one you want. This one or that one. Depends on what colors you want. But yeah, anyways, let's take a look at the box here. So we have the Small Tamashii Nations quality sticker and the Silver Toe animation. So if you're new to S.H.Figuarts, make sure when you're buying figures that it has these two for the modern day S.H.Figuarts. I know back in the day, sometimes they would only have like one sticker, but nowadays look for two. And then we have the beautiful exclusive edition packaging. So if you know Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, you know the normal ones come in like a white box. This one comes in like a black box with like the different shadowy pictures of the figure. So here we have Jiren. On the side, we have the same pose basically, but just in figure form. On the back, we have a bunch of different poses that you could do with the figure. And on the side here, just the name. And then up here, nothing. And down here, just the name and then Jiren looking cool. So let's get him out of the box. So here we have the figure in the clamshell, just in case anybody's interested at what that looks like. Just gonna give it a quick 360. Pictures of these are always up on the site, just in case you want to look at them. But anyways, let's get them out. All right, now we have the figure out of the box. But before we continue, make sure to check out my website, DBZSHFIGS.com, where you will find a complete archive of every single release in the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts line. The website is constantly being updated with all the latest information, so make sure to check that out. But yeah, here we have the big buff guy, Jiren. Look at this. We all need his gym routine, man. What is this? Push-pull legs? I don't know. Let's see. You know, I love how much shading there actually is on the figure. You know, sometimes I feel like they skimp out on shading nowadays, but with this one, you could clearly tell, you know, there's like some lighter purple inside and then some more dull purple on the body. Over here, there's extra shading. And then you can see all the details of the veins popping out on his head. You know, dude, he's so muscular, so big. And then his legs feel funny because of the glossy paint, so it kind of feels like oily. And yeah, you can see all the glossiness all throughout the figure, like right here on the hand. You can see how it reflects the light, and it kind of has like a hint of purple. He's really, really detailed, like the shirt ripped off, whatever's remaining there of his suit. And then the pants are one color. There's not really any shading on there. It's just like, I don't even know what to describe it as. Like a shiny, glossy maroon, maybe. And then he does have the little detail of his thigh cut there. And then the feet, they're all just one color. You know, it's meant to be a white, but it's a glossy white. And then, you know, like with these parts over here of his glove, they reflect the light with like a purplish tint. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, moving on to the accessories. So he comes straight out of the box with this face, which is just like an angry, annoyed face. Then he also has this grinning with his teeth out, extra angry face. Like he's in the middle of combat. And this one might be my favorite one. It's like, dude, you could sense the pain that he's in. I just love how expressive it is. Look at this. And lastly, we gotta have a screaming face. So there's like when he's throwing a ki blast or when he's in the middle of fighting someone. Pretty good. I like all the details on the faces. I like the wide variety of faces. As far as hands go, of course, if you know Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, they come out of the box with the closed fist hands, which is basically just your basic combat, you know, posing. He also comes with these, I like to call them karate chop hands. You know, he's ready to go, boom, or maybe like a salute. Just for whatever reason, the Pride Trooper salute, I don't know. And then he has like these open hands, which, I mean, the way I put him right here is like, it's like if he's being questioned and he's trying to answer why he tried to eliminate you from the Tournament of Power, you know? And then lastly are these gripping hands. You can see they're meant to go with the effect piece, which is, you know, the only other accessory the figure comes with. Like this, basically. You just put it in the hand, and then he's basically getting ready to throw a ki blast. All right, so now we're gonna move over to the review part of the video. And as always, we start with articulation, and let's start at the bottom here. So his foot is able to rotate 360, which is always nice. You're able to move the foot up and down, and you have a nice little ankle rocker there, so you can move it inside and outward for any of your posing needs. The toes do bend up quite a bit, but they do not bend down. And then we move over to the knee. The knee bends pretty good, but his, you know, his thick hamstrings get in the way, so it only goes up about this much. And then the thigh itself is able to go out this much, go front not too much, and then go back not at all, basically. You see, that's basically it. His butt piece gets in the way. And then at the thigh, it's really tough, but you can rotate it if you wanted to. And then at the waist, I'm not really feeling like you could rotate it. It really stops. Maybe you could detach it and then attach it again at whichever angle you want, but I feel like the clothing here is gonna get in the way, so he's pretty constricted there. However, in his upper body, he does have a nice little crunch. Not the best, but it gets it done. And then a very big back crunch back here, so you can see his full six-pack. And then he is able to sway to the side, to both sides, whichever side you want. And then he does twist a bit. It's not really giving much sticking power there, but you're able to do it. And then at the shoulder, you could obviously see the butterfly joint there. So he could actually come all the way in here. His fist basically lines up with his nose there. And then it reaches, his shoulder is able to kind of extend, but you gotta be careful because his bicep may hit this part of his trap, which may cause like some paint damage. So you just gotta be careful with that, but he is able to rotate 360. And then he does have, you know, a ball joint there. However, if you move it too much, the shoulder will actually pop out of here. So you gotta be careful with that as well. So it's kind of constricted, but you're able to have basic shoulder, you know, articulation. I do like this joint, how, you know, it goes in and out pretty easily, which is pretty cool. The bicep does rotate. It's very hard, but you can do it. And then at the elbow, it bends this much. And then another thing is also with the glove piece, it does touch the bicep, so you also got to be careful there with the paint. And then the wrist does rotate 360, and the fist is able to go inside and out pretty easily. And then as far as the head goes, you're able to look down this much, look up this much, which is quite a bit, rotate 360, bend to the side, bend to the other side. So a lot of head articulation, especially because he's a bald man, so there's no hair getting in the way. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's gonna be pretty much it for the articulation. I do like how smooth some parts are. However, some parts are like really, really tough. I don't know if it's just my figure or if it's the figure in general, but you know, like the waist, you can't really do much there. The leg, it doesn't go back at all, basically, you know. And then like the shoulder, I kind of don't like it because it tends to pop out a lot. And then the head does pop out quite a bit too, but you know, that's not really an issue for me. But yeah, I might have to give it a 3 on articulation. Next up, we move over to accuracy, and I'm gonna pop up this picture right here. And you know, there's 2 train of thoughts here. Like, I know the clothing is very glossy, which is meant to be because it's an exclusive edition. So this is gonna be different than the full power we got back in 2020. You just gotta decide which one you want at the end of the day. But this one is meant to reflect more of like when he's in his power up state, having the red aura around here. And yeah, I do think he looks straight out of the anime in my opinion, so I'm gonna give it a 5. Next up, we move over to price to plastic ratio, and just a reminder, he does come with the big figure itself. It's a lot of plastic because he's buff, obviously. And then he comes with a total of 4 heads, a total of 4 pairs of hands, and his effect piece. So for $75, that's not a lot. You know, in terms of faces, that's basically what a $35 figure brings. In terms of hands, that's basically what a $35 brings. I guess the only thing would be like an effect piece, which they usually price at $20 for some reason. You know, anytime you get an effect piece, you could just guarantee it's going to be at least $20 than if it didn't. So yeah, $75 is quite a bit. It is an exclusive edition, which I know has to factor in there because, you know, exclusives tend to be pricier. The mold, I feel like they already had it, so there's no reason to even say it was a new mold. Can we say something about the paint? Does anybody know if glossy paint costs more than whatever matte paint is or whatever other kind of paint they used on the original? But still, I don't know, 75 is a lot. I feel like this figure could have easily been $60, especially because we know they already released a Jiren back in the day for $60, which had more stuff in my opinion, you know? So I think it's gonna get a 3 from me. Next up is scale, and I brought out Ultra Instinct Goku for this. You know, I thought it fit the theme pretty good. So I'm gonna pop up this picture here, and to be honest, I don't know why, but I would remember Jiren being very tall. But looking at pictures of his height, just to add it here, a lot of shots, he's just a little bit taller than Goku. I would say he's actually way too tall compared to like what the photos from the anime show. You know, if you trust the internet says that Jiren's supposed to be like 6'4", 6'5", and Goku's of course supposed to be like 5'9", so this would make sense. However, there's other people that say that Jiren is like 6 foot tall, which would only make him 3 inches taller than Goku, which this would not be right. You know, so I guess it depends on who you trust. You know, if you go based on the anime, which is what I do, so based on the picture you just saw, he's a little too tall. So I'd honestly give it a 4 just because if it's true that he's actually 6'4", 6'5", then this would actually be perfect. So I'm gonna give it a 4 just to be like in the middle of those 2 ranges. Last but not least, it's shelf presence. And as I always say, this one's the most biased out of the 5 categories. You know, what I like on my shelf might not be something you like on your shelf and vice versa. But for me, this figure actually has a pretty good presence about him, you know? It's very obviously because he's like hella buff, you know, so of course he's gonna demand some presence, you know. I think he is a basic figure, don't get me wrong. I mean, he just has his pants and, you know, his very buff body. But I think the faces are really good. Like, you could really make something great with this. And it does come with an effect piece just to add a little extra layer, you know, to your posing. So for me, I'm not going to give it a 5, but I'm very happy giving it a 4. So overall, Jiren Final Battle Exclusive Edition gets a 3.8 out of 5, which is pretty good. You know, I would say it's like a pretty average to good figure. If you don't have a Jiren in your collection, this one's going to be the easiest one to attain right now. Like I said, you could get it straight from Premium Bandai right now with free shipping, you know, or you would have to buy the figures that came out 5 years ago, which I think this one does a pretty good job of everything you need. Of course, if you want one with the Pride Trooper outfit, then yeah, you have to buy the one from 5 years ago. But if you don't care, if you just want them fighting your Ultra Instinct Goku, then this one will do it, and it's a really good figure. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. But anyways, make sure to check out the Amazon deals tab in DBZSHFIGS.com, where you'll find all the best deals on Dragon Ball SH Figuarts currently on Amazon. Final words, I just really appreciate each and every one of you. If you made it this far into the video, you're a real one, and I hope you have a nice rest of your day.